Hey everyone, it's Molly the Kush RN, your cannabis community correspondent and host of Conversations with Kush podcast. I am checking in day one at CannaCon 2026, and I'm sitting down with this incredible woman, Larson. She is the manager at the Legacy Woodbury. Welcome. Do you go by Nick or Nicole?
Either one.
Okay.
Government name is Nicole, but I usually go by Nick. If you know me, keep it close and simple.
I only do the government name if I'm mad at you, and that's usually like assigned to my kids. So
you'll see a sign off. I usually go by Nick, but either one I like. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We met at the Lavish event, and I was just so blown away by you and how dynamic you are. And I was like, we need to highlight this woman.
Oh my goodness!
Right? Like,
thank you for that.
We see a lot of women that are coming on that are solopreneurs or entrepreneurs and, standing up businesses and stuff, but we don't highlight enough the women that are behind the scenes at other big entities that are really doing a lot of this work, right? Yeah. So kudos.
There's a lot of us in the woodworks.
Totally.
Generally, I don't normally, come out and put myself out there, but I mean, a lot of us are doing a lot of the groundwork and,
100%.
Really proud of the work we're doing too.
Yeah.
And I've been really gracious and grateful to meet a lot of women along my journey who have mentored me and encouraged me to keep going.
I love that.
And, when us as Minnesotans didn't really know what was happening, and coming from other states and other regulatory places and stuff, like what did that look like for us was really scary.
Yeah.
And so I was really grateful to be able to really connect and get a lot of really good mentorship along the way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really encouraged by you saying that, because that's something that I'm looking for. I need a mentor, like especially
we all
in the
do.
media realm. Especially in the media realm. But like even as a nurse, like we don't become good nurses just on our own. We have to like look at the other examples, and we have to kind of like, oh, I love how that person does that, how they interacted with that patient. And you and I have to be the mentors to other people that are up and coming, right? So
there is no mold. I think that's really important. And I think what has brought me as far as I've been in this industry is just being my authentic self, and growing as well, and giving myself the space to grow with my career as well as a woman.
For sure.
As we age and as things happen to us and all that, we're trying to find our footing and plant our roots and stuff. And I think that a lot of the times we're afraid to speak up because we don't know if we belong where we're at. In this industry especially, we have a lot of really renowned educators and growers and, genetics and the whole realm. I'm on retail side, right? But there's a lot of big shoes to fill, and I think it's okay that we know our feet are big too, and we can do it.
Yeah, we can.
And I think a lot of the times, you're not going to get that pat on the back that you think. And that's okay. Let your work speak for itself.
For sure.
And that's going to open a lot more opportunities for you than, any title you'll get along the way, or, whatever corporate entity you work for, whatever that looks like.
And do it scared. Do it scared if you have to. If you're scared at first, just keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I say that to all my employees along the way. One of the biggest things I've said is, we sell weed. We're here to have fun. But ultimately, we're here to make business run. We're here to make money, and we're here to showcase all of the tools that we are all bringing in to whatever building you're in, or whatever grow you're in, or whatever company you're working for at that time, or collective you're a part of. And so keeping that, I think, is crucial.
Let's talk a little bit about how you got here, because you have a really great story.
Thank you.
So go ahead, take it away.
Okay. Well, cannabis in general for me has just always been, part of my life. I grew up in a hippie household, so it was always okay, and be careful what butter you're putting on your toast, because you don't know what you're getting that morning. You might be in third grade, just stoned off your ass. And so I just grew up where it was okay, and it was a part of our lifestyle, it was a part of our culture, and it was a part of just everyday life. So it was not taboo. It was more taboo to be the only kid that smelled like weed in school than it was to not. So, so I started obviously just very wanting, as soon as I turned 18, I was like, I'm moving to California. I want to get away from here. I want to, get in the weed industry, and it's booming on the coast, and I'm from the Midwest, and we're weeks behind everybody else, right, getting things. And so
or years
unfortunately. So I was just super excited to get involved in it. And so I worked for, black market for years, obviously, wherever we could, whatever organization was trying to come up, whoever, we were all preparing to get our licensings. We're all doing that kind of stuff over the years. So always found myself with the stoners, and then, but tried to fit into corporate life. I did property management for a lot of years, and just realized that this is not what I want to do every day. And I was like, but I need a 401k, and I need some insurance. And so how do I sell weed? How do I make this cannabis thing, my daily job? So after a little bit of trial and error, I finally made it to Cali and was able to really meet some really cool people there. I worked for a black-owned cannabis company out in California for a few years, and that really exposed me to the differences in culture. Cali versus Minnesota, it's a completely different game.
Right.
We've been getting product from there, but like the culture, it didn't translate.
Sure.
And so I was out there for a few years, and then COVID hit. Good old COVID. And I just said, what do I want to do? What have I always wanted to do? I can't say in Cali. Things are happening. My home base has always been Minneapolis, and so I just wanted to make my way home, and so that's what I did. And along the way, I stopped in Portland, Oregon for a while, and I did some cannabis out there.
Nice.
And one day I'm on an email, and on my email, Indeed or something, cannabis jobs in Minnesota, and I was like, what is that? We have jobs like back home now for cannabis?
Yeah.
And it was for a call center representative, very part-time, and I said, you know what? Something feels really good about this, and I'm going to take a chance. And I packed up and I moved back home and humbled myself the hell up, and within 3 months was completely immersed in this big box cannabis company. And the call center closed, but they needed a management team, and I had many years of management from property management experience, so I was like, well, this makes sense. I know how to do payroll, I know how to schedule and hire, and so sure, I'll try it. And I just kicked ass.
Of course.
And I haven't stopped. And I just haven't stopped. I definitely take time to slow down, to pat yourself on the back. And that's one thing I tell, because nobody is going to do it for you better than yourself.
Hell yeah.
And so, so that's how I ended up here. So that was longer than I'd like to admit ago. But I've been just as involved as I can be in this community.
So you did medical cannabis for a while. Talk a little bit about that and how it's different.
Yeah, so I did medical cannabis for over 5 years. Primarily just starting the med program here in Minnesota, but then what that looked like when we got flower, when we started adding other things in. And so I was able to see a lot of really cool stuff. The company that I worked for was really big into stretch assignments. So they were like, we need help in other states. We're opening up in Massachusetts. We have new stores opening in Illinois. Do you guys want to go? And I was the first person to always raise my hand. And I was like, send me. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out when I get there. And that really carried me so far to fall in love with the med program itself. From a patient perspective, I'd never been in healthcare or anything. So I just think I was lacking that. I had the customer service experience from years, but I didn't have the empathy for the patient. Right? And so that's what I learned. And so by doing those stretch assignments, going into different states, different regulatory places, what products are available to some people, I just really loved it. And I fell in love with the people along the way.
Awesome. I love that story. I love that.
So med program was crazy. I worked for both med licenses that Minnesota had, the only two operators for the first few years there, and got experience from both. And just realized that my core value and alignment, I really wanted to be, I felt like I kind of peaked to a certain point where I was like, okay, I've hit C-suite, I know what this feels like, and I want to scale it back now, and how can I take all these things I've learned over these years and apply them and help somebody else? And that's where I'm at Legacy, and I love it.
So what are you doing to help Legacy, and what kind of vision do you want to bring forth for them?
So number one, Legacy is a phenomenal place in itself. A lot of different entities, with, starting as Glassworks. Josh, my owner and mentor, has definitely shed a lot of light on the hustle. And so I really respected that. So all these years I've watched him, hustling and taking that Glassworks and making it something. And so it was always like this, legacy. Okay, now they're doing this, now they're doing that. And so I was just at a point in my life where I was like, all right, what next? What am I going to do now? I've opened new stores. I've trained teams. I've started mentorship programs. I've been mentored. But like, now what? I'm itching for something new.
Yeah.
And so I just reached out to Josh and I was like, hey, you've met me over the years and what do you got? What do you got? Something over there? And they needed some help at their Woodbury store. And I was like, let's do it. Let's run it. Full rec. So no med program currently. And that is just a whole new ball game.
Okay.
Yeah.
What translated from the med program into now the adult use space?
So the customers are the same. You'd be surprised. It's because they want access to all of the products, which I firmly believe they should.
Yeah.
And the way that we are set up right now is that you kind of do have to, I would say, jump through some hoops sometimes to get certain products that are affordable. And so being a med patient, what I've seen is a lot of translation. A lot of the med patients want to know what's recreational. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And then I've noticed that a lot of the products are different, meaning we're seeing things that we've seen on the coast. We're seeing more colorful things. We're seeing things that make you want to engage with the brands.
Sure.
And that's something as a med program we weren't allowed to do. It was there was a lot of regulatory stuff that went with that, and so I think it almost gave brands a disadvantage to be who they are. And so now in the recreational market you get to
flourish,
shine, grow, show us what the hell you got going on, and be as bright as you want and as loud as you want to be, and we like that and we want that. And so that's something I really noticed a difference in.
It's my observation, and maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I haven't done enough research to really be speaking about this intelligently, but I feel like the industry is a little behind the med program and what we're able to offer to patients, and I'm hoping that will pick up.
Yeah.
How is Legacy really trying to carry that forward or bridge that gap?
Well, one thing I know that Josh and I have spoken about, how do we get the med program